Hi, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are all doing great today. I see some of you already in here ready to rock and roll. We're going to have so much fun. This card with Lawn Fawn products was just a blast to make. Anne's going to be joining me a little bit later. Um, but she had some stuff she needed to get done this morning. So you get me. So, those of you that are watching for the very first time, my name is Lisa Rojas, and my business partner and I, Ann Butler, we own Bella Crafts Publishing. And we put out a free, yes, it is totally free, digital craft magazine 4 times a year. It is awesome. There's lots of cool projects in there and just lots of inspiration, which as crafters we got to have, right? And then we also have our library of ebooks that we have for sale, because although Aaron and I do a whole lot of stuff for free because we love what we do, but we also have to pay our bills. So we've got our ebooks that we have for sale, and they cover all of the, you know, we've got mixed media, stamping, embossing. There's two Christmas books. I'm trying to think of everything else. We've done 4 books with Eileen Hall from Sizzix. Um, there's just tons. So if Anne isn't going to be able to put my links in, then I will definitely do it after I'm finished. Okay, so you guys will know exactly where you need to go to check out all of this cool stuff. So let me show you real quick. I'm just going to show you this part, and then I'll show you the whole thing when I change my camera. But isn't that just adorable? Now, this is from their spring release, Lawn Fawn's spring release, and it was supposed to be done in the spring, but as you guys know, there were issues with my hands and everything else, so it got kind of bumped. But it's still a very cool card, and you guys are gonna love making it, especially because it's so easy for an interactive. You know how much I love my interactive cards. If I'm gonna do a card, which my normal thing is, I like to do I like to work on other mediums. I like to stamp on wood and do all kinds of different things like that. And even though I started out in my business making cards, I got to the point where I got a little bit bored, so then I started working with fabric and like I said, other stuff. But now I'm doing a lot more cards because, that's what a lot of people want to see. A lot of our readers and our viewers want to see, more cards, because card making is very hot. But I have to have a card that does something. It's very rare that I make a card that doesn't move or shake or pull or push or I love interactives. And one of these days in my free time, I'm going to try to put a book together that has all of well, not all, because that would be volumes of books, but I'm going to put a book together, an ebook together with Anne on some of my interactive cards. So I don't know when we're going to get to that. We've been talking about it for a couple of years now, but it's in my head. I'm thinking about it. So anything else, let us just get started. We're just going to jump right in so I can show you how to make this, and you guys are going to love it. It is so much fun. So let me switch my cameras here real quick, and then we're going to get started. All right, there we go. All right, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so this is the fun card that we are making today. And I did do it in pastel colors, a little bit lighter than, what I normally do, because you guys know I love my color, and I like everything that pops. So I did this one in a little bit softer tones for this card, which I absolutely love. So why does my card look crooked every time okay, there we go. All right, so let me show you. You're going to take this and this little pull tab right here, and then you can pull that up, and there you go. You have got a sentiment up here that you can use, and then you can attach a gift card here. Or if you don't want to do that, you can add another sentiment or a little bit of a scene. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. But I just thought this was so much fun. And it's really, really easy, which, if I'm going to do an interactive card and I'm going to teach it, I like it to be, easy. And Lawn Fawn, I've said it before and I'll say it again, they have some of the best interactive dies on the market. So I absolutely love their interactive dies. So let me put this back. And then I'm going to show you what I used. All right. So to start off, I used this paper pack. This one is called Bitsy Blooms, and it's got all of this really pretty different flowers and plaids and, just all kinds of pretty stuff in there. I love it. So I used this, and this project, I used a lot of Lawn Fawn. So for the die, this is the die set that I used. Whoops, let's go this way because that's the correct way. Okay. And this one is called the Pull and Slide Surprise. So these are the elements that I used to create the card. Lots of fun. Be working with that here in just a sec. And then one of the other die sets that I used is the scallop, excuse me, the scallop tag, the scalloped circle gift tag. Okay. I used this for the inside of my sentiment, which I absolutely love. I used this, a few times. I really, really love this die set. All right. So we've got that one. And then let me show you stamps I used. Okay. So this one is called Backyard Bird Feeder. Okay. That's pretty cool. I love it. It's got all of these little elements in it. And there is a die set that goes with this because Lawn Fawn is really great about doing a die set with their stamp sets. So there is a die set. I did not get the die set this time. I actually cut everything out by hand. So I didn't get to do that, but there we go. So I used this set. And then for my, let me finish with the card. For my card, then I also used a couple of the dies in here, the flowers and the grass. This is called Backyard Feeder Add-on. Okay. So there we go. We've got that one. And then this is the set, and I have used this a couple times, like I said, because I love the circle die and it works perfect. So this is the Magic Messages set, and I use the Happy Birthday one in this. So much fun. There's a lot of cute sentiments in this set. All right. And then lastly, because I did an interactive, Lawn Fawn has this great little set out for interactive cards. So it's got push on it. It's got open me, shake me, look inside, open here. It's got all of these cute little sentiments in here for your interactive cards, letting your recipient know what they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do with this card. Because, you want to make sure that they know how to pull it up and, and all of that. So I use this. There is a little tiny die set that also goes with this, and it's got a couple of the dies in there. Not for all of these, but I think it's got a circle and a couple other things in the die set. I think it's got this arrow. So use this too. This is called Push Here. That's the set that I used for my card. All right. So now that we got all of that business out of the way, let's get started. All right, so this is all of the very cool stuff that I used. All right, here we go. Let me grab a piece of paper real quick. All right, there we go. Just something to work on. So make it a little easier for me. Okay, let me straighten this up just a smidge. There we go. Are we still crooked, guys? I think we're okay. All right, there we go. Okay. So we've got all of these very cool elements that we use. I'm going to put this one aside for right now because that's later. But to start out, okay, we have all of these cute pieces of paper, these little tiny ones I'm going to put back here, that we're going to be using for this. And we're going to start. Okay. So to begin, what you're going to do is you are going to die cut this die, and you're going to cut it 3 different times. Okay. Boy, I really am crooked. That's like not good. Okay. I don't know why I'm so crooked today. All right, let's try that. Crooked. Okay. I don't like being crooked. I'm off balance normally. You know, I don't need any extra headache. Okay, so we're going to start out with this die. And with this, you're going to cut out 3 pieces. Okay. So to get started, we're going to work with the white one first. Because what we're going to do, after you have those die cut, then you're going to take this die that is inside the package also, and you're going to cut 2 pieces. You're going to cut this from white cardstock. Okay. So that's how we are going to get started. Now, what this is going to do is we're going to lay these down, and this is going to kind of, you know, protect your slider on the inside from going, you know, wonkers. So we're just going to take some glue here. Okay. And I'm just going to add some glue to these. There we go. And then we're going to put them, line them right up to the edge of your white piece. Okay. So that's going to give you a little bumper. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Look. Okay. Well, I can't get, there we go. My hands aren't working this morning, guys. I don't know what's going on. All right, so we're going to add this other one on the other side. And like I said, we're going to glue it right there on the edge. So you've got them on for each side. Now, let's scoot this one over just a smidge. You're not going to see these, so you don't have to really worry that much about them. So, yeah, because you're not going to see them. But, you know, they're good. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to start with that. And then the next piece that we're going to do is we're going to add the second piece that we cut out. This is with the pattern paper. And what we're going to do, okay, see, everything is matching. Okay, that one is up just a little bit on the edge. So I'm going to trim this one off. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to lay this one on top and glue this one in place. Okay, now remember, when you glue down, you don't want to glue out your center. You don't want to glue down that center. So we're just going to add some glue right around the sides here. There we go, and a little bit at the top. And then we're going to take it and add it right onto our other piece. There we go. Okay. And then the die has the scores already for you. It's already scored for you. I'm going to take this down a little bit so it doesn't keep moving on me. Just add a little bit of tape right there. All right. So now you've got this one. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pop this. And we're going to glue this one also to the inside here. So we're going to glue this in. Okay. And then you're going to fold on the score lines. So you're going to go up at the top here, and then the middle one here, you're going to do a mountain fold. Okay. And then there's a little tiny score down here, and you're going to fold that one up. Okay. So you're going to do it just like that. All right. And then I've got this other little piece right here. We're going to add this down at the bottom. This is also in the die set. This is this die. And we're just going to add this down here just to give it a little bit more color. And you guys know me. I like lots and lots of pretty color. I like different patterns. I love it all. So I'm going to just adhere that down right there on that little piece at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, there we go. All right. And then also, I wanted it to have a little bit more color, a little bit more, flair. So I cut another piece out in the flowers here. And you don't need this middle part for this, because we're just going to use this piece as a frame. So you're going to take some scissors or a straight edge, or, however you want to do it. And you're just going to trim this area off right there. Okay. And then save that, because that's a good size, piece of paper. So save it, because what you can do, so you don't have to cut up a whole new piece, you can use this piece to die cut the circle. Okay, so I'm always thinking ahead about, saving my pieces. All right, so now we're going to take this piece and we are going to glue it right on top of this one. And this is just going to be a little frame. Again, just to give it a little bit more color and a little bit more fun. So we're going to line that up. There we go. Okay. And now you've got the start of your slider. So you can already see how this is going to work, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this green piece here. And for this, I wanted to add a little bit of fun to it for the pull. So I cut out another piece of this one with the pattern or the plaid. You guys can't see that really good. That's hard to see in the light. Okay, but it's the same piece as this. Cut that out, and then what you're going to do is take that little stamp that I showed you from the push and pull, stamp set, and you're just going to ink that up. I'm using my black Gina K, and we're going to stamp that baby right on there. And then that says pull here. So that will tell your recipient what they need to do if they want their gift card. All right. So this one also, we're going to fold that on the score line there, which is, this one is tiny. Okay, so we're going to fold it on the score line. There we go. All right, and then we're going to adhere it to the top here. All right, so I'm going to put this one right there, glue that down. There we go. And then also glue the back side, just so you know it's going to stay in place. All right. There we go. Cool. All right. So we've got our slider, right? Here we go. And then what you want to do is you want to cut another piece of cardstock. And this is going to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. And that's going to be your backing. So when you put this on, and this one is a little bit, okay, that's a little bigger than what I want. So I am going to cut that off there. Oh. No. Oh, geez. Okay, there we go. Couldn't find my scissors. All right, so I'm going to cut the edge off because that is a little bit too big. But basically what you want to do is you want to, there we go. You want to make sure that your backing fills the whole back of your slider. But when you go to glue it down, you only want to glue it on the edges, the bottom, and, and both edges. Okay. That way, once it's glued down, you'll be able to move it. So don't glue the whole thing down, which is what I was trying to do. And I had a little brain fade there. So, all right. So I need to scooch this little guy over because in the midst of all of this got crazy. All right. There we go. So you're going to take this piece and glue it right on top. And like I said, do not glue your little slider piece down, okay? We're just going to glue the edges and the bottom. All right, so we got that and then that. And I'm going to leave that other edge for now because I don't want to mess with it getting caught up on the blue. Okay, so now we've got our backing on, right? All right, so now you have your slider. And that's how it is supposed to look, girls. You're supposed to do it like that, okay? So you got your slider now. And now, once you've got that done, now you're ready to decorate it and do all of the fun stuff. So, of course, what I did was I stamped all of these little pieces out. Look how cute all of this is. And then we're going to be adding those to our slider. So now you've got your slider all set. And then what you can do is take another piece of cardstock. Now on mine, you'll see on mine, okay, I have the yellow backing. Now I didn't do a full card, just because I just didn't want to waste the paper. So obviously you would want to do a full card for this, right? Yeah. So for this, you're going to cut this at, let me measure it again just to make sure, because I've been such a harebrain this morning. Okay, this is going to be 4¼ by 5½, standard, standard size card, right? And then I cut a little piece of pattern paper from the pack, and that is 4 by probably 5¼ Yeah, so it's just a quarter inch down. So we're going to take that, and I'm going to use this glue since it's so big. Okay, and then we're going to glue this down. Okay, add that right there. There we go. Okay, so now this is the base of your card. And then you're going to take your slider and you're going to put that right on your card. Okay, but before we do that, what I did here is I added some ribbons. This is some pretty ribbon that is from Gwen Studios. I love it. So if you were doing a full card, you would want to add this before you add it to your base. Okay, but since I didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it right around all of it. So I'm just going to take a little bit there. There we go. And add a little on the ends. You want to know what's so weird about this, you guys? I had a dream last night. Maybe it was a premonition, but I had a dream last night that I was going to forget how to do this card. I mean, really. So how totally weird is that? And then I've got my dog in the background. Yeah, this is, 100%, live crafting. So I got my dog in the background making noise. All right. So I'm going to flip that over. And then glue this down. There we go. Okay. So now you've got that one down. And then the ribbons at the bottom, I waited until I had this down. Now, what I did for my slider piece is I wanted it to elevate just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So I add some foam tape to the back here. Let me grab my other scissors. I don't know about you guys, but I now have designated scissors. One for adhesives, one for paper, and one for everything else. Because I get so tired of cleaning my scissors and then they get all funky. And then they won't cut. All right, so we're just going to add some of this down here. And this foam tape is not quite as thick as what we normally would use in crafting. So that's one of the reasons why I used it for this, because I only wanted it elevated just a smidge. Okay, and so I'm going to add one more piece in the center here, just to make sure that we're all down and taken care of. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to pull these babies off. And there we go. Okay. And then I want to add it right to the center of my card base. Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. See, so now you got your little slider and now you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So to decorate, I cut all of my pieces. I stamped them all with my black Gina K ink pad. And then, of course, I watercolored them. And then just to add a little bit of glimmer, I put a little bit of the glitter pens on top just to kind of, give it a little bit of shiny. I don't even know if you could even tell. You can in person, but but that's how I did all of my stamped images. And then of course I cut them out. But like I said, Lawn Fawn does have the die set that goes with this stamp set. Okay, so what you want to do when you're decorating this now, you want to keep in mind where your slide is going to be when you glue things down. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that from experience. So I'm going to take this little piece and I'm just going to glue this one down like on the edges here just a little bit. Like, just like that. Okay. And then I want to make sure that, everything is good. Yep. Because you see, let me lift this up just a smidge. You can see now, this is the reason why I didn't glue any of this down, because I wanted it to be flexible when you pull the slider up. Okay. All right. So we're just going to add that. And then the same thing down here at the bottom when you're adding your little bird feeder. Okay. You want to make sure that your images, when you put them on, are above this line. Because if you put them lower, it's going to mess with your slider, right? So you want to just make sure that when you're adding your elements, that you keep in mind you don't want to go under this piece right here. Okay, so what I did then, we're going to cut this. We're going to glue this to the back here. It's going to run a little bit of glue right there. Okay, and I am not going to, I'm going to shorten that a little bit. Yeah, we're going to shorten that. I don't like it that high. All right, so yeah, right about there is good. Okay, so first I'm going to add my little bird feeder here. And again, you'll notice when I'm gluing this down, I'm only gluing part of the back, okay? And that's because you want it to still move. So you do not want to glue it all the way up here, because then you're not going to be able, again, to open your slider. So you just want to make sure, just keep in mind these two marks here, the score line here, and then this one down here. You do not want to put your elements on those pieces where you can't move your slider. Okay. All right. So we've got that one on, and then I added some cute little flowers here. And these were just so darn adorable. So we're just going to add some cute little flowers. And again, I'm making sure that I'm not, going over that line there, because then it just is going to be an issue. And we've already had enough issues today, haven't we? I know I have. If I drank, that's exactly what I would be doing when I was done with this. But since I don't drink, I'll just, I don't know. I'll go somewhere and be goofy. All right, so we got our little flowers down there. And then I wanted to add a little bit of layering here. So I'm going to take it, put this little foam squares here. I'm going to take this one and put it right on top of the bottom here. So that's going to give it a little bit elevation, so you've got more dimension to your card. Okay, so we're going to add that there. And then we're going to add the birds. Again, I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape here, or foam squares, I should say, to add my cute little birds. Okay, we're going to put this one up here somewhere. There we go. And then another one. So yeah, and also I will have a blog post on this. It will be up on Sunday because that's actually almost done. I did it ahead of time. So you will also have written instructions for this, but I probably will re-film this whole segment just because I made such a mess of it. All right, so we're going to add that little guy there, and then down here, I'm going to add my little birds down here. So I'm going to put this one right about there, and then my other one, I kind of let it hang off the side a little bit. Okay, again, keeping in mind with that. So for this one, let's scooch this one over just a smidge. There we go. Okay, so for this one, when I put this one down, because I let it hang over, you don't want to glue this part over here, okay? So just make sure that you just glue this part. And you don't need a whole lot of glue for this, you know, for these little guys, because they are just, you know, they're tiny. So you don't need a whole lot to keep them on there. Okay, so we want to put that on. There we go. And then lastly, we've got our little bit of bird feed here. And we're just going to add this right down here on top of the strip. There we go, just like that. So now our birds have got some food to eat. Yay. Okay, so to finish it up, then what you're going to do is I used the scallop die in the die set. Let me show you again real quick. This one, to cut out this piece for a little sentiment. And where's my sentiment? There it is. Okay, so now we're going to stamp that right. There we go. We're going to stamp this right onto our sentiment. So what I did, because these are separate, I just lined them up on my block, so I didn't have to do them all individually. Okay, so we're going to take this and stamp that. I hope that's straight. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, and again, I'm going to add this over here. Oh, my little grass fell off. And that's just rude. There we go. Okay, so again, because I'm hanging this off the side and I'm gluing it by this fold here, I don't want to interrupt my slider. So you're just going to add just a little bit of glue right there, okay? So we're going to take it and a little bit of glue on the side there. Okay. Yeah, let's move that up a little bit. And then I just left, like I said, I just left the rest of it. I didn't bother gluing it down or anything. Well, you really can't, because then you're going to get stuck. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to add our little sentiment there. And then we are going to add our ribbon pieces, our 2 ribbon pieces down here at the bottom. And again, if you guys were doing this, you know, with your regular card and you did a complete card, you would add this before you put your base card on. So, you know, nobody can see your little tails here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add some glue to these. And do that real quick. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, gotta keep away from that slider. I need to move that a little bit. Yep. Okay. So you always want to make sure that you keep in mind about things not messing with your slider. Okay, so we're gonna wrap these around the end here. There we go. And this is such an easy card to make. I know it doesn't seem like it because I totally was a disaster, but it really is an easy card to make, and it is so much fun. All right, so we've got our bottom ribbon down. I added a little bit more to this one than I did my regular one, but that's all right. So then what I did was I used the circle die cut, and I cut out the flower paper for the scallop, and then I did happy birthday for the sentiment. Okay, so we're going to glue those together. And I want to let you know, when you're adding stuff to your slider itself, you really, really, really want to make sure, there we go, we're straight. You want to make sure that it's not going to get caught, okay, when you bring it up and down. So we're going to add this right here. Okay, just going to take a look, pull this out a little bit more. Add some glue to the back of this. So you don't want to add a whole lot of dimension is what I'm trying to say. You want to keep, if you're going to be, adding things like sentiments or whatever to this, you want to make sure that you don't use something that's going to be really bulky. You don't want to add foam tape, because if you do all that, then you're not going to be able to slide it. So you see, you want to make sure that that slider is free. Okay, so there we go. All right, so basically now it's finished. Let me show you my finished card again, because I've got my little gift card in there. So what I did was I just took my gift card, added a little bit of adhesive to the back, made sure that it was still going to slide, and it worked perfectly. So that's what I'm saying. Just make sure that you don't put anything too bulky, or you won't be able to move your slider. But there you go. Look at how fun that is, right? All right. So talk amongst yourselves for just a sec. Well, I switch over cameras here.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I started some comments for you, Lisa.
Okay. Yeah, I totally butchered this project.
I heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fine.
You know what?
Amy was asking what wink we're using. Wink of Stella.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
then Rebecca said the pull-out piece is the hardest part.
Well, yeah, but if you remember how to put it together, Rebecca, it's but yeah, I had a complete brain fade. And then I was saying, I don't know if you were in here at that point, Em, but I had a dream last night that I was going to forget how to put this together. So it's like, okay.
Say no to those dreams.
I know, right? And it's such a cute card. So I am going to reframe it, and refilm it, and put it in, because I had to stop right in the middle. But
you can just cut that part out and re-upload.
That's true. That's true.
You don't have to redo the whole thing. Laura Lee said she's loving all the interactive card dies that she's seeing on the market.
I love them.
And Becca said, absolutely delightful card. And Laura Lee said, it's a sweet little card. So, no, you're fine. I mean, it happens because we're live, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we weren't live.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an issue. And I would have thought about it, and figured it. And it's such an easy slider. That's why I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, what am I doing? I had to rip this one apart so I could see what I did because I couldn't
See, they know
remember.
we're human.
Yes. Well, these ladies have been with us for a long time and they know what a goober head I am. So I think they all just take it kind of with the grain of salt that I'm an idiot, but I have fun.
Laura Lee would like to see the die again. She missed that part.
Okay. The die set. All right, let me grab the other piece. Yeah, it really is an awesome, awesome die set. I absolutely love it. I took some of it off, so let me put it back on real quick, Laura Lee, and then I'll show you what it looks like because it has a bunch of other elements in it that I did not use, which is always fun. So this is the die set, and this is called the Pull and Slide Surprise. So see, you've got this piece right here for your slider, and then this piece also over here. And then you've got all these extra little elements in here. You've got the little scallop. I keep forgetting that we're backwards. You've got the little scallop frame here, and the one I just dropped is for the one I just dropped, the long one. That is for your bumpers on the sides of your base, okay? Not your base card, the base of your slider. So you want to make sure there's 2 strips. That's got 2 strips on it. You die cut that, and then you put those right on the edge of your base slider, not your base card, okay? So I showed you how to do that. And then, of course, it's also going to be, on the blog. And then also they have these little cute little extra things in here. They've got this, I think one says thanks, hello. It's got banners on it. I mean, how much fun is that?
So much stuff in there, yeah.
Yeah. And, you guys have heard me say it a million times, and I'll say it again. Lawn Fawn, I think, has the best interactive dies on the market.
Yep.
I got it,
Becca said you don't need to refilm it. She wrote the instructions down. And the thing is, you are going to do a blog post, so
Yes.
not a big deal. And
Yes.
Amy says, you are just like all of us. I make mistakes all the time. They're just not
it is what it is. But, when you're trying to be professional, like I'm supposed to be, and you flub, then it starts to become a little embarrassing. But with you guys know me so well. I really don't even worry about being upset anymore. I used to ask Ann, I used to completely flip out if I even made the slightest boo-boo in a live. And now I'm just like, okay, yep, I'm not perfect. Nope, I forget things. I'm old. It is what it is.
all good. It happens. It happens no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just when it's not live, it's all cut out before people see it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
You're
Yeah,
good.
and the blog post, I'm working on that now, so that will be up on Sunday because it's almost done. So that'll be up on Sunday for you guys, and then it will have step-by-step instructions with the photos, so you know exactly what you need to do.
Eileen said you didn't. It just took a minute, and sometimes it does. So you didn't totally mess up.
It felt like forever when I stepped out. I was like, okay,
when you're doing it, it feels.
Oh wow! Oh yeah.
That. And I'm sorry, guys, I wasn't here to. It's busy.
Yeah, Anne wasn't here to fill in that space when I was flubbering like she usually does.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, I've been on tons of calls today, and my mother is in surgery right now, this minute. So she's been in surgery for the past hour. So, prayers appreciated.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just hearing this. So
no, I know. I will not be doing my 2:00 live. I'm not sure how long this surgery is, and the unfortunate part of this surgery is it could have all been helped. She wasn't getting the proper care. of the facility she was at. My brother pulled her out yesterday and brought her to the ER. And so I'm thankful for him.
Right.
And it's
hard. It's hard, Aaron.
a huge mess of everything she's gone through. So
she's a fighter, though.
Even when I was there, I kept questioning things. And, but I'm going back down. So
okay.
I want to remind everybody that the Card Makers Summit starts tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Is the card that I create. You get this download. You can join the summit for free. There is a VIP where you get extra stuff. I don't even know what that VIP price is, but it's a 4-day summit, and there is like, I think there's like 30 people, 30 different cards or something. I'm not actually sure. Since my mother got hurt, I've kind of been out of it for the last month. But
you have been on the go since January.
Anyways, there is the link if you would like to sign up for that Card Maker Summit. And if you didn't do it already, like, share, and comment on Lisa's video, even though she's cringing at it. Let's make it go viral, people.
Yeah. Let everybody know what an idiot I am. Well, I don't mind.
We're all human. We're all human. And mistakes happen.
Yep.
But Lisa has the name of last week's winner. And last week, Dress My Craft did a special. We're working with them more, and they wanted to take over our live, but they're in India. So they're like 11 and a half or 13 and a half hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
So it was at 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. I think I changed it to 8 a.m.
Yeah, 8. Yeah.
And they're doing another one in September, but the winner gets these two lovely. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. It's a little tiny paper.
Oh, I love
that. No, isn't it cute? I love it. It is 2.5 inches by 5 or 6. I can't read it. By 6. It's adorable.
That is
these great blender brushes. So.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Definitely, you signed up. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So for the winner, I do have that, and I'm not going to flub that one up. Is Becky Sawyer or Brenda? That's it.
It is Brenda Sawyer.
Brenda Sawyer. I'm going back to bed.
But yay, congratulations. Laura Lee, I'm sorry that's so frustrating. Gives perspective that Lisa, you felt like you messed up on a card, but some people mess up people's lives.
Yeah.
I'm glad your mom has kids who are involved. Thank you, Laura Lee. Yes, we are very involved and trying to take care of her the best we can.
That's what we do.
Yes.
So until next time, guys, thank you so very, very much. Seriously, thank you so much for being here, for working through my craziness with me. And don't forget to take some time to craft,
because it's good for your soul, and we all know that. And really join us for the pajama party tonight, 9 p.m. Central Time.
That's right.
We have a guest, Deb, who she did a small project on Bellicon. She's the one that took the Jesse James little tiny beaded kit and made 2 projects in 20 minutes.
Oh, yes. Yes,
so she is our guest tonight, so you don't want to miss
that's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. I love
She's an awesome designer.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So don't forget to join us tonight, and then we will see you next week. I will be here. Anne might be with her mama, which is fine. I'll be here.
I never know where I'm going to be anymore.
I know, right? I think I'm going to do Pink in Maine next week. I think that's what's on my schedule. So I might change it, though. You never know. Okay. All right, you guys, take care, and God bless. We will see you all later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Guys.